We all know that Sherlock Holmes was based on Doyle's mentor, Dr. Bell. What amazed me was to discover the real people who were doing the work that Sherlock Holmes was allegedly doing, and to find out that in the 1880s and 90s, they were actually aware of these stories, were excited by them, and were commenting on them. Dr. Lacassagne, Dr. Alexandre Lacassagne, who's the hero of my book, was the foremost forensic investigator of his time. He was a great innovator, and he liked the Sherlock Holmes stories. So much so that he had one of his graduate students write a thesis on the subject. They said, first of all, they enjoyed the Holmes stories. They enjoyed the fact that he understood the value of maintaining the integrity of a crime scene. They did that. They enjoyed the fact that he believed that footprints were important. They did that. But then things began to fall apart. For example, Holmes had no real interest in autopsies. And they said, how could you possibly understand a crime scene without doing an autopsy? One of the things that truly amazed me was how much modern forensics owes to these people. And there was a group of pioneers, Lacassagne and his colleagues in the 1880s and 90s, who really developed much of what people know today. Before these people, the typical investigation involved rounding up the usual suspects, pressuring them until one of them confessed, rightly or wrongly, sometimes using torture, and putting them away. Lacassagne and his colleagues realized that you needed the evidence to speak. They were the ones to understand that death is not necessarily an end point, but a pivot point. After death, the body ceases to be a living entity and it starts becoming an ecosystem off of which bacteria and bugs and flies and other creatures feed. And these creatures populate the body on a timetable, and you could work backwards to the time of death. They figured out blood splash analysis, in which the pattern of where the blood splashed and the shape of the droplets indicates where the original attack took place. Lacassagne himself figured out ways to match a bullet to a gun. This is still being done. Now the FBI has a database of tens of thousands of different bullets and guns that people match to. You know, I think people should know who Lacassagne was, and Bertillon, and Brodel, and Benedict, and all these people. They were absolutely fascinating. And there was this tremendous period, a flowering of science, that in a way was obliterated by World War I. And these people and the drama they took part in almost got lost. So I think for American readers, I wanted to bring that back.